Hey everybody, Gary here with Field Test Dummies. Today I'm going to show you how to change out your buttstock on your Ar15 M4 rifle. If you watched our last video, it was me down in the basement there, and showed you how to do a basic breakdown of the Ar15 M4 style rifle. And in the video I made a promise to you guys I'd show you how to change out the buttstock. So that's what we're going to do. Come a little closer and I'll show you some of the tools you're going to need. Okay, so here we have torque wrench. You're going to need your torque wrench. We need to torque down our castle nut on our buttstock to 40 torque pounds. Also need a magazine chock for your vise, so you can slide your AR-15 on there and then put that in a vise and hold your rifle in place. And then you're going to need a multi-tool. I prefer one that has the torque wrench insert here, so you can insert your torque wrench into it. That way you can torque your buttstock castle nut to that proper 40 pounds. So, alright, here's what you're going to need. Let's go over to the vise and let's go ahead and start changing this buttstock. Alright guys, we're over here on the workbench. We've got our magazine chock in. We've got our rifle on the magazine chock, so this is sturdy. We can start working on this buttstock. Now the first thing we want to do is remove this castle nut. We want to loosen it up so we can get this buffer tube out of here. So go ahead and take your multi-tool, and if you see this one here with the 3 prongs, you want to go ahead and use that to loosen this nut up. So you just slide it on there. Now you got to use some strength here. Okay. Got that castle nut loose. Let's go ahead and screw that. Now be careful, right here where your sling mount is, there's a spring in here. And you want to make sure you don't lose that spring. So you're just going to slide this out, pull that spring out of there. You don't want to lose that spring. Alright, go ahead and set your spring there off to the side so you don't lose it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change angles here, that way you guys can see what we're doing on the other side. Alright, so here's the front side of it. Now right in here, there's this little retaining pin, and underneath it is a spring. Now you want to depress this, and then you can spin this buffer tube out of here. Now when you do this, keep a hold of this, because what's going to happen is when this buffer tube comes out and you let go of that, that's going to shoot all across the room, that little pin. And you don't want to be chasing that pin all the way around your living room, trust me. So go ahead and depress that down. And you're going to screw this out. Now your buffer tube has this little notch in it which holds this pin in, okay? And I'll show it to you here in a second. So that's how you know you got your buffer tube in far enough. Okay, so here's this pin and that spring I was telling you about. So you pull it out. Actually, you could probably leave it in there for this video purpose. Okay, if you look right there, that little notch is like a little U cut in there. That's where that pin goes in when you're screwing that in. And once that pin goes over that, it locks that pin in. So that holds your buffer tube in, your buffer spring, and your buffer. So that's very crucial. You don't want to lose that little pin right there. Okay, so now you got your buffer tube off. You go ahead and put your new one on, or put your sling mount on, whatever you want to do. For whatever reason you're taking it off. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and start threading this back in. Okay, now once you get close to that pin there, you're going to want to push that pin back down in. So you take your bullet or whatever you want to use. You got to make sure you keep pressure on that, because if you don't, that thing's going. So I'm going to go ahead and press that, and we're going to start screwing this thing in here. Alright. So now we got that where we want it, and that notch is down inside that pin, so that pin's not going to come out. That's just what we want. So now what you want to do is set your spring back in. Remember that little spring we took out on the other side? You're going to take and put this thing back in. Probably should have done that before I put this on. But that's alright, I can snake it in there, no big deal. Alright, got that on there. Now we're going to press that spring back in. We're going to get our sling mount where we want it. Spring pressed back in. And we're going to start tightening down this castle nut. Now, some people stake these castle nuts down. And that's fine, you can do that if you want to. I mean, if you're not going to change the buttstock out or you know, or your sling holder here, you know, go ahead and stake it down if you want. Some people say not to, some people say to. I'm not going to stake mine down. I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is, I just like to put a little drop of Loctite on there and then tighten it down to the 40 pounds with the torque wrench. So now we got this on there. What we're going to do is, we're going to take our multi-tool again. Okay, we're going to get this on here. And what we want to do is just kind of snug it up. Okay, now we're going to take torque wrench, remember the torque wrench we talked about, and we're going to set this to 40 foot-pounds. Probably should have done that before. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so we got our torque wrench set at 40 foot-pounds. Got it in the tightened position. Now we're going to go ahead and place this inside our multi-tool, that little slot. Remember we talked about that, you want to make sure you get the right one. Okay, then you're going to come up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to set this in here, and we're going to torque this thing down 40 foot-pounds. Alright, got it torqued down to 40 foot-pounds, and there you have it. That's how you install your new buffer tube and buttstock on your AR-15 rifle. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate any feedback or comments you have down below. If you see anything that I missed out or left out, feel free to comment down there and let us know. Appreciate you watching the video, and you guys have a good day.